What's up guys? So today I'm going to tell you about my crazy, wild VidCon experience. But in order to tell this story properly, we need to go back to March 18th, 2015 when I posted an audition video for the Less Than Famous panel at Vidcon. I didn't get selected for the panel, probably because I'm just too handsome and it's just not fair to everyone else. I mean, I get it. It's happened to me my entire life. It's why I didn't become prom king. It's why I wasn't selected for Playgirl's Boy Toys of the Summer Edition. It's fine, no grudges. But I did, however, meet tons of amazing individuals that also applied for the panel at VidCon. One of those people being Cinnamon Cooney, the art Sherpa. I mean, we hit it off instantly. In September 2015, Cinnamon sent me a message telling me about YouTube Creator Day in Houston, Texas, an event where YouTubers get together and you meet and greet and you go deeper into your YouTube analytics and all that good stuff. So I left my home in Atlanta, Georgia, and I drove 11 hours to Houston, Texas. It was my very first YouTube event where I would be hanging out with other YouTube creators, like-minded individuals, if you will. It's also where my first in-person collaboration took place when I was painting on Cinnamon Cooney's channel, and I painted what has now become known as Indifference Pumpkin. I head home and I'm making new content on my channel for the next year. And after that year, it's that time again. So on March 15th, 2016, I apply for the Less Than Famous panel again because again, after 2 years of making videos on YouTube, I'm still less than famous. So that's a thing. Just making videos, nobody watches. So, you know, I put a lot of time and effort into them, but nobody really watches, except for the people that do. Thank you. Ooh. Be gentle. What? Yo, so next year when I apply for Less Than Famous for the 3rd time in a row, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it. This feels really uncomfortable. At this point, Cinnamon and her husband John have been doing big things on their channel and were invited to be a part of YouTube's Next Up program, which is a very big deal. March would also end up being very important because this is when VidCon opened up applications for the YouTube mentorship program where a big-time YouTuber would mentor you while you were at VidCon. I applied in the only fashion that I knew how, by spilling my guts and writing a dissertation on why I wanted a spot. Now, a couple years ago, I joined a Facebook group called the Vidcon Lone Wolves, which is a group that helps people that are going to VidCon by themselves, and they have these little meet and greets and get-togethers of things where you can make friends and meet people because you don't know anybody, and going to VidCon alone is a total buzzkill, man. And on May 4th, 2016, Lone Wolfers Dominique and Josie created a group called YouTube Creators, which will be very important here shortly in the story. On June 16th, I get an email from Travis Moores. I hope I'm saying that name. Travis, if you're watching this, I apologize because I think in person I called you Morris. And it's not Morris, because you told me it wasn't. But you never corrected me. So anyway, Travis sends me an email and it says, "Hey Todd, are you gonna accept your mentorship with Shay? Thanks, Travis." And as I was reading it, I remember thinking, what? I don't know. I didn't know I was a thing with Shay. What? Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? What? What? Huh? Huh? What? Shay? Wait. Shay Carl? What? Like the Shay Carl? Shay Carl. Colette Butler Shay Carl. So I am scrambling through all of my emails. I'm going through hundreds of emails, okay? I'm scrambling, I'm freaking out, and there it was, the acceptance letter. And it said, "Congratulations, Todd Graham, you've been selected to take part in the 2nd annual mentorship program." As I'm reading through it, it's telling me where I'm gonna meet Shay, what time I'm gonna meet Shay, and I get to the very bottom and it says, "Reply by June 1st. It's June 16th, 2 weeks and some change later. So I am freaking out, and I'm writing Travis back, just freaking frantically, saying like, yes, I want that with Shay. Mentorship, that's what I applied for, let's do it. So I have to give Travis a huge thanks for actually reaching out to me and not just skipping over me and moving on, because I just know in like a year, I would have gotten that email probably, maybe, and I probably would have punched myself in the dick. Now I'm just freaking excited because he's about to mentorship me in something that I'm just freaking passionate about. In fact, I was so excited I took to Photoshop and I made a photo to resemble or to portray my excitement for this mentorship program. It's Wednesday morning, June 22nd, 2016, when I get on a plane and I fly to LAX. Now I hate flying. And why do I hate flying? Because this chair right here is 17 inches wide. And this body right here, well, you could say not 17 inches. I meet up with my buddy Chris, and this is a really exciting time because it's my first time meeting somebody from the YouTube creators group in person. As I'm meeting with Chris, Chris introduces me to another YouTube creators member named Paul, and Paul is volunteering this year, and he walked me like from one side of the freaking convention thing, which was like 15 minutes away, all the way to registration because I had no idea where I was going. And at one point I asked security, I was like, is that Hotel the Hilton right there? He was like, I think it is. Yeah, that is the Hilton. It was not the Hilton, it was the Marriott. Thanks, Mr. Security Man. And one of the coolest things that happened was freaking right outside of registration, I run into longtime YouTuber buddy Ellen Stevenson, just right there. Following day, John and Sediment Cooney introduced me to a bunch of their YouTube Next Up program friends from New York, which was insane. And one of those people ended up being Chris Truini, an amazing filmmaker based out of New York. So over the next couple days, I had fun meeting all these friends from the YouTube creator group and meeting all kinds of people from all walks of life from all over the world and attending panels and workshops and eating food that is way out of my diet plan. And then it happened. I was attending a after party for YouTube creators at the convention center. Remember, I was just standing outside on the balcony with all these people that are now my good friends from the YouTube creators group, and I'm standing out there with Chris Truini and John and Cinnamon Cooney, and I remember just getting off the phone with my wife, and I look at my phone, and Shay Carl liked the photo that I made about the mentorship program, and as I'm looking at it, he immediately follows me on Instagram, which I was freaking out. I mean, I was in shock. Shay Carl just followed me on Instagram. Then I tell John about it, and he's like, dude, we have to do something. I mean, we have like a short window of opportunity. We have to like respond to it somehow. Like, let's get something together and we'll do it. What do you think? And I'm just remember standing there and I'm like, yeah, I mean, totally. Let's do it. So John turns around and he tells everybody from the group that we're just standing around, and he's like, guys, Shay Carl just followed Todd. We've got to make a video. Would you guys be willing to help out? And everyone, like all like freaking 20, 25, 30 people were like hell yeah, let's freaking do it. So John asked Chris, the filmmaker, if he'd be willing to film something for it, and Chris is like all about it. So we head over to Chris Chaver's hotel room at the Marriott, and we've got like 25, maybe 30 people in that room. And I mean, we're storyboarding, we're working on scripts, we're working on shot lists, we're working on the type of lenses and lighting. I mean, it was just insane. And I just remember just being in that moment and just realizing that all these people are here for me, like right now. And like, it's a moment I'll never forget. Yeah. Todd, quit being a bitch! Because we were gonna shoot this short film in a public bathroom, we needed to condense our team as small as humanly possible because we wanted to make the least amount of noise as possible. We wanted to be as unnoticeable as possible because we'd be filming and we didn't want to get kicked out. So our condensed team consists of Paul Bernabe, Chris Chambers, Chris Truini, Mark Williams, and John Cooney, and myself. So we're on the 6th floor and we get in the elevator and we're just trying to go to the main lobby bathroom, which we figured would be a big spread and it would be kind of loud on the main floor of the Marriott anyway. So we're just going to go to the main floor lobby. But for some reason, the elevator said be on it. We were going to the basement. We didn't want to go to the basement, but we were going anyway. And I remember just thinking like, oh man, we messed up. Let's go back to the main floor. And John says, wait, let's just see what's in the basement. And it was like the YouTube or video gods were listening to our prayers and they answered, because as soon as we walked up the elevator, what do we see? A men's bathroom. There's nobody in the basement. We've got it all to ourselves, so we have a place to film. Boom! So we're in the bathroom filming. Chris Chavers is watching the door. He's keeping a lookout. John is like co-directing with Chris Truini, and Chris Truini is filming all the scenes. Paul's right next to me in the urinal. doing that thing. Mark Williams is filming all this incredible behind the scenes footage. I mean, it was like pretty amazing how it was all coming together. And before we can even film our first take, the maid walks into the bathroom and we scare the ever living bejesus out of her. And we were just begging her to like, please let us film there. We're only gonna be like 15 minutes tops, please just let us film there. And she was totally cool. She's like, all right, I'll come back at midnight. Is that cool? I'll come back, which is like an hour from then. And we were like, yeah, totally, like, that's perfect. It's more than enough time. And she was gonna let us do it. And right as the door is like halfway closing, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, you can come in here if you want. We're just filming. And I think that freaked her out a little bit, which I totally understand. And as soon as that happened, I remember Chris Chambers came in, he's like, we should probably go. And we just tried to go as fast as we could, and we got 2 takes in when security supervisor person came in and they kicked us out of the basement. So from there we go back up to the 6th floor and we start the editing process, and Chris edited the crap out of this video and he did a phenomenal job. And we cranked it out right then because the whole point of this is to get it done quick. After the edit we were going to try and upload, but with 40,000 tweens and YouTubers and people obsessed with video on YouTube and the internets and everything, you weren't gonna download jack diddly squat. The upload time would have been like 72 years. Uploading wasn't gonna happen. So then Chris Chavers turns around to the group in the hotel room and he's like, this is the plan, okay? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna upload the video at 9 a.m. It's going live. And when it goes live at 9, we're gonna use the hashtag Todd meets Shay. And we're just gonna tweet the ever-living shit out of it. And everybody's on board and we're like, all right, cool, because really, we can make this short film, we can do all this response stuff, but if Shay doesn't see it, I mean, it was fun to make, but it defeats what we were trying to do. So we needed a team of people reaching out to Shay. And because the internet speeds were insane, there was no way we were going to upload that video anywhere near the convention center. So John takes the footage that Chris edited, he drives it over an hour away, and he uploads the video onto my channel, ready to go at 9 a.m. And I go back to my hotel room, I'm working on the thumbnail, and I think when all was said and done, we didn't go to bed till like 3 or 4 in the morning. So 9 a.m. rolled around and Chris summoned the forces that be and magic was made. And immediately, like, it was just blowing up on Twitter. Everybody was tweeting each other's tweets and retweets of the tweets, and the hashtag was like going like viral and stuff. And within an hour, like I was told, not even an hour, Shay saw it and he retweeted it, which is insane. About an hour after Shay retweets my original post, I get a message from Peter Holland saying that Shay said I was awesome and he was gonna like check out my videos. And I'm just thinking, like, is this real life? Like, what is happening right now? Like, are you serious? Peter freaking Holland, like, texting me directly. Like, what is that? It's freaking awesome is what it is. At 2 p.m. I had a meeting with Shay over at the Hilton, and I got there an hour early because I had heard that the security at the Hilton was a little intense. So I wanted to give myself time to get through security and not look like a sweaty ass lobster. Security actually didn't take that long because I had all the appropriate passes and things like that. So I'm about 45 minutes early at this point. It was 1:59, there's no Shay, there's a minute till, and I'm just thinking, like, what if he doesn't show up? I mean, technically he's still on time, but what if he doesn't show up? Like, I wasn't gonna be like totally like pissed if he didn't show up or anything, but I'm just like, man, like, what if he doesn't show up? Like, my mind was just reeling because I was freaking out a little bit on the inside. Okay, let's be honest. I was freaking out a little bit on the inside about meeting Shay Carl. There, I said it. So it's 1:59 and I look down at my phone to check social media, and before I can even like pull up the first thing, I hear, there he is. I knew it was Shay Carl, and I'm just thinking, like, Shay knows who I am. Like, he knows it. That guy sitting on the chair over there is me. Shay and me, best friends. And he comes over to me and he gives me the biggest bear hug ever. It was awesome. Now, I know this is gonna sound weird, but Shay knows how to hug. This wasn't one of those ass out hugs. I mean, this is This is one of those hugs where you get hugged and you feel like family. I finish hugging Shay and Colette comes over and she gives me a big old bear hug, and it was that moment I knew 100% these are my kind of people. So we walk into this like small banquet style type room with these massive tables that are meant to sit like 15 to 25 people. Super impersonal, especially if you're just sitting like right next to each other, and if you're not, then you're basically yelling at the person across the table. So yeah, without skipping a beat, Shay didn't even say anything. He just grabbed chairs and he took them to the very back of the room, and we sat at like this chest-sized table so we could all just face each other and just talk to one another, and it was just freaking awesome. Our meeting was only supposed to last like 15 or 20 minutes, but they ended up sitting with me for, I want to say, like a little over an hour. I've looked up to Shay and Colette for years because they represent what I want for my own family. I want to be able to take care of them while doing something that I love, something that I'm passionate about, and be able to just provide for my family. He was talking about all these like awesome projects that he's going to be working on in the future, and we talked about being in movies, and we talked about doing bigger budget, higher production things that we both would love to do, and we talked about family and balancing life and all this like amazing stuff. And at the end of our meeting, I asked Shay and Colette if we could make a quick video for my wife saying hello, because she loves you guys and she's been watching even longer than I have, and despite being in a meeting with me for over an hour and without skipping a beat, and Shay doesn't skip a beat. I don't know if he picked up on that, but he doesn't skip a beat, he just does it. Shay's like, well, why don't we just call her? And I'm just sitting there like almost teary-eyed, because I know how much that would mean to her. And so they call her and they talk for a little bit, and Shay said some really nice things about me and how I'm going to be a big success and that I should keep making videos and to just give it like 8 to 18 months or something like that, and we'll be all set on YouTube and we're going to do some big things. And it was just really exciting, and I know it just meant the world that he and Colette would call and talk to her, and it was a really proud moment. Now this part is going to be kind of hard for me to get through, and it may be a little TMI, and you can skip forward past this part, so I'm probably gonna get a little emotional. But I remember just sitting in my hotel room by myself, talking to my wife, and we were just crying. Not because we were fangirling or anything like that, but because I've been working at this, grinding for 10 years, working on my photography and my videography, and for the last couple of years YouTube, and we have scraped and clawed our way over this last decade for me to follow my dream. And I mean, I've done okay, but for the first time in my life, I was sitting with someone as influential and as warm-hearted as Shay and Colette Butler, and they were telling me, like, I just don't understand why you don't have 300,000 subs, and to get that validation from someone like them, it's really all I needed. To get that validation from people who have been a role model for me for years, it meant the world. It did. It meant the world. Anyway, sorry about that. So Shay ended up taking some video on his Twitter account, which is actually a pretty funny story, because he makes this video on Twitter and he posts it, and my phone's in my pocket. I've got it on vibrate, and the second he hits tweet or whatever, send, my phone in my pocket just starts going crazy. I just feel the vibrations like like by the time I get out of this meeting with them, I've got like 150, 200 notifications on Twitter. It was like the most unreal thing that I've ever been a part of. That was insane. I remember just like my leg was a little like numb or something. Like it was just weird, like having that many notifications, and like the entire meeting, like the rest of the meeting we had, that moment where we were together, like my leg was just vibrating over and over and over again. It was the coolest thing ever. Shay ended up taking some video of us for his vlog, and he gave me a lanyard, and Colette reached into her purse and got my wife Alyssa a lanyard, which, hang on real quick, let me go get that lanyard real quick. I gotta show this to you. So this was my badge from Vidcon, which is pretty sweet, right? It came with like a pretty standard like HDTV like little lanyard thing to keep your stuff, but then Shay gave me the hookup, and he gave me like one of the most legit freaking lanyards I've ever seen in my life. Check this out. Freaking Tricks and Lanyard. Can you read that? Can you read that at all? Original Tricks and Clothing Company, established 2015. I mean, this thing is like freaking legit. It's got this thing where you can, you know, do the thing. I'm wearing it. I know VidCon's over, but I'm wearing it. This lanyard's staying with me forever. So I left the hotel, I went back to my room, and it was really crazy because on the way back to my hotel, and I had to pass like the expo center and everything, I had a few people like stop me and say like, hey, you're the Shay guy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the Shay guy. That's me. I'm the Shay guy. But if I have a acting career or a filmmaking career that just blows up, then I want to accept my Oscar as the Shay guy. That would actually be really sweet. Let's plan it. Let's plan it. VidCon was amazing. I have so many people to thank for making my first VidCon one that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I cannot wait to go back next year. It's gonna be insane. Let's just say it's gonna be freaking insane. I cannot wait to see what the future brings for me and my family and this channel. I want you guys to be happy, stay beautiful, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and Shay, real quick, I just want to let you know that I did send you an email, like Monday, like super early, like 3:34. I remember you saying in our meeting to send you an email, and I did. Check your spam folder, because I don't want you to think I'm a deadbeat and I'm irresponsible. So I did that. Anyway, from one best friend to the other, check your spam folder, because that's probably where I'm at. Anyway, thanks for everything. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you soon at my birthday party. You're totally invited. So, see you there. I like cake. I like German chocolate cake, actually. German chocolate cake's one of my favorites. So, if you bring the cake, I'll bring the milk. So, anyway, see ya.